Thank you so much, Mark. It was a pleasure to be here again at NOAH. Yeah, I'm Malte. I'm one of the founders and managing directors of Trivago. I actually plan to speak about the history of Trivago also, so the time before Expedia bought a portion in Trivago. So I hope it's okay if Expedia only covers a small part of what I'm speaking about. Yeah? And maybe to kick off with, who of you is familiar with Trivago? Like, who would know what Trivago is doing? And who's using it on a regular basis? Like, for whom is it like first choice to use it? Okay, that's almost all the crowd. That's good. So Trivago is a tool for you as a traveler to find the ideal hotel at the lowest rate. Yeah? That implies that we are a vertical search engine. We are meta search for hotels. So basically, Google for hotels. Yeah? I think that's a very good explanation. And you never book with Trivago. Yeah? So what you currently see at TripAdvisor and Kayak and Orbitz, where the meta model and the booking model, the OTA model, appears to merge. Yeah, we are not doing that. We are meta search only, and we always redirect you to our booking partners, if you wish, so where the booking is actually fulfilled. And we partner with over 200 booking sites. It's actually much more. It's 200 OTAs, but we also work a lot with the hotel industry directly. So if you use Trivago, you will, in many instances, also see the rate that the hotel is offering directly. Yeah? So we are very eager and very keen on directly partnering with the hotel industry. And we have over 700,000 hotels in our database, so you compare rates for 700,000 hotels in the world, which hopefully covers it. Yeah, that should be all the hotels that are at least online bookable. And we have currently about 45 million visitors each month on the website. And we operate quite globally on 40 different platforms in 24 languages. Maybe a bit outdated already, but it's anyhow usually quite meaningless how many platforms you operate, and more important to look at how much revenue each platform contributes. And there you can see that Trivago really has managed to be a global internet brand, and that the core market, no, not the core market, that the market of origin, Germany, which is yellow here, nowadays only contributes with 90% to our overall revenues. Yeah? Maybe interesting to note that like physically the operation is very centralized, so we don't have any operations outside of Germany, but it's like 700 people that sit in Düsseldorf, and from there operate all the country platforms. Yeah? There's one exception, that is Spain, and then we have a Leipzig office. But these are like physical offices, merely for the purpose of development. Yeah? So it's not really like Spain is doing a bit of the Spain business. That was a test we did, and we kept it there. But its main purpose is really is a developer's office. Yeah? So to sort of to have a larger recruiting for IT talent. And then here's a very easy to digest slide. Yeah, I hope it's okay, and I can walk you through a couple of different phases and maybe some inflection points which I regard as very important for Trivago. So we started in 2005, where the Trivago idea was born, and by all means it was a much bigger and larger idea than what we are doing currently. Yeah. So now we are a hotel search. You compare rates at Trivago. We digest all the information that is online. But back in 2006, our idea was to deliver on travel on a much broader scale, and really have all the information that are relevant for travel on Trivago, which is flights, which is packages, which is rental cars, as the stuff you can buy. But then when you travel, what's really interesting, the restaurants, the beaches, the POIs, yeah. To have all that and and to have people speak about that, generate reviews, so really be a travel community in all aspects. It was, I don't know the mission statement by heart nowadays anymore, but it was really a long mission statement. And we were very ambitious to do good things. And the business, the business was a problem. Well, first of all, the website was a problem. I think it was a nice website when you looked at it. There's lots of things we promised, but when you clicked like 3 times, you would enter like into a dead end, and there would somehow occur a bug. And so the revenues were also kind of sluggish. We were lucky to have some free SEO traffic that we could commercialize with banner ads, and also a bit with a hotel search engine that at the time we already had. But it didn't really pick up. We raised funding. We were lucky to raise funding. We raised about $1 million. That's all the company raised over its history. And with that, we had some headroom to also hire developers and hire a couple of people. Still, whilst the website was pretty poor, we were not shy of exposing it internationally. So I think we were one of the companies with the poorest product, which then again internationalized extremely fast. So we were showing that poor experience in a couple of markets like Spain, Italy, France, UK. That all happened in 2007 already. And there we were also, not extremely successful, at least. Then in 2008 comes an extremely important point in Trivago history, where we were discussing the success we had, and we decided to set a much clearer focus going forward. And we had about like 1/3 of our revenues was like in banner ads, and then 1/3 was with a package engine, and another 1/3 was with a hotel search. And we thought the hotel search is really like, the hotel-only search is really like the best thing we are doing, where we see the biggest benefit. And we decided sort of to skip all the other stuff we are doing and put a clear focus on hotel search, just leave the other stuff aside, put the community in the background. We still wanted to keep the community, and we still have it for various purposes, but we didn't put much focus on it when you entered onto Trivago. We did that in October 2008, this sort of relaunch, if you wish, but the technology and everything, it remained the same. It was really like functionalities that we skipped, and then a bit of a redesign. And since then, the company really exploded. Since then, traffic was tremendously growing, and we had about 30,000 revenue in September with all the 3 business lines. 20 it was, and then in October we would expect 1/3 of that. So probably, if things go well, 8,000 euro or so. And we had in October then about 50,000 euro in revenues. And all that came in organically, So we didn't do any advertising at that point of time. So it was just organic growth, and most exciting time at Trivago that I can recall, Because now we felt, okay, we have something going. We have built an engine, and the engine is running. And before that, we had built something, but it wasn't really an engine that was running. And nowadays, I meet a lot of investors, or come across investors quite frequently that we approached in 2007, 2008, when we hadn't had built that engine, and they didn't, want to open their pockets and fund us. And I always tell them, never mind. You didn't do anything wrong at that time. We didn't know either that things would go so well. We didn't have any information that would tell us it will end up so well for Trivago. It will go so well. That really started in 2008 with the focus. So that's really core of our DNA since then, to be focused on what we are doing, to be focused on the hotel search and any other business opportunities that you pass. During working at Trivago, we always skip them. Which may be a mistake, but it's based on our experience back here. And then when we had built that engine, we were thinking how can we fuel it? What's best fitting to what we have built in terms of advertising? How can we now get more traffic faster onto Trivago and scale the company? And we did billboard, for example, as a test, like huge billboard charts in Düsseldorf, as to be able to measure. It's like the whole city was covered with billboard charts in summer 2009 in Düsseldorf. And it was a very bright summer, and we had this yellow billboard and then white letters on it, and it was really hard to recognize during sunny days. You couldn't see anything, and we couldn't measure anything. And we skipped billboard, but then we were again not shy of trying to test something else out, and we tested TV, and we really sneaked our way in there. We had a 50,000 euro budget, produced a spot with that, a very like, only, not very like, but only animated spot. Was really a bit tacky and cheap, but it worked well for us. It was a small campaign. 10,000 euro was for the spot production, and 40,000 was the actual amount we spent on a number of TV spots in a certain month, and we could measure success. Yeah, I mean we could measure results, and we saw it's going well. Yeah, and then we sat together back in 2009, the three co-founders of Trivago, and we were to decide how we take this forward. And we had about 200,000 euro in our bank account, and we committed a budget with a TV channel of about 2 million for 2010 then. Yeah. And so that was one of the more risky decisions we took at Trivago, and but also one of the best decisions we ever took. Yeah? And it was a really good success in Germany. And then we found out that we were extremely lucky that we had so early translated our product into all these other countries, and extremely fast went into these markets and did the same as we did in Germany. But not on a large scale, but again sneaked in with a small budget, figured out how it's working, which formats are working, which channels are working, which times are working, really on a small scale. Got it in shape when it's small, yeah, and then scaled, yeah. And every market worked a bit differently, like in terms of what's how much can we afford, which channels and stuff like that. Every market is a bit unique. But we were always able to get it profitable for us, yeah? And then we were extremely fast scaling that, and quickly grew to a company of 100 million revenues with 100 employees. Is my time already up? Is that my time or? It's fine. Okay. Now that I'm here, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, okay, fine, thank you, that's good. Yeah, an interesting fact maybe about the TV advertising, yeah. I found that always interesting, is when we spoke to agencies, we spoke to a couple of agencies to see if we can learn from them. We never really could. But what they told us is you have to have like a certain amount of TV budget to go into a market, and you need to reach a threshold, which is actually 300 GRPs usually. Yeah? That's what the claim is, and that's something we absolutely couldn't figure out. Yeah? It doesn't matter if you spend 10 euros or 100,000 or a million or 10 million. It should work on a small scale, just as it should work on a big scale. Yeah? Of course, it's easier to measure global success on a big scale, but when you are new into a new market, a small TV campaign for us had always worked very well to really measure the success in detail of it. Yeah? So we actually found it helpful, and still find it helpful in a new market, to go with a very small budget and sneak ourselves in, and then it just scales in a linear manner until you reach a certain amount where it's like, where then the effect dilutes. Yeah? So where it's not getting better, but it's not that you have to reach a certain threshold. That's something we, at least from Trivago perspective, we can't confirm. Yeah. And that's pretty much like media agency knowledge. 300 GRP. Below that, you don't have to give it a shot. Yeah. And then in to follow Marco's introduction, in 2012 we sold a couple of shares to Expedia. The managing founders of Trivago, we actually sold a very limited amount, just a fraction of what we own. So we are still like altogether a pretty large shareholder in the company, almost half of it, and then the other half now belongs to Expedia. Now operationally that didn't have any impact on our business, so we still run it the way we've run it in 2005 in terms of decision taking and how much influence others have. Yeah? So with the investors we were always able to cut deals that would give us full flexibility and full decision power, and that's very important for us to to like our jobs and to like what we are doing. So that, so for us, it's really not been a big, not such a big event. From a Trivago perspective, nothing really changed it. we've been working with Expedia prior to the deal, and we are still working with them on a business level because they are partners in our hotel search, but we treat them extremely like competitive, like any other partner of ours. And yeah, we are now 700 people in Düsseldorf, and looking forward to take the business forward. Yeah, there's still lots of headroom to grow it, and thanks a lot.